Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Russ Riesinger. After nearly 70 days of waiting for a miracle, Montana Highway Patrol Trooper Wade Palmer gets to come back to Montana.
Palmer shot 3 times near Missoula while investigating another fatal shooting. Now recovered enough to come back to the state he loyally defended. And Montana welcomed him home like the hero he is.
The week spent away from his children, his home, and his fellow Highway Patrol colleagues coming to a close. And that journey began today in Salt Lake City.
Don Hudson brings us the emotional celebration from the University of Utah Hospital.
You have all been so amazing. Without all of you, we wouldn't be able to go home today.
Lindsay Palmer choked up as she thanked surgeons for helping her husband survive and begin his recovery after being shot in March.
You gave us the fighting chance we needed to get through this.
And she thanked the Utah law enforcement community for all their help and support.
To each and every one of you who took a watch outside our door, to the continuous times I needed a friendly ear to listen to me talk, someone was always there to lean on.
Leadership with the Montana Highway Patrol and Montana's Attorney General also shared their appreciation to the U of U Hospital and the people and police of Utah.
I'm not sure that words can ever express the gratitude from the Montana Highway Patrol for the help that's been and the support that's been given to him.
On behalf of the people of Montana, thank you, Utah. We love you.
Trooper Palmer can walk and communicate, but he's lost his ability to speak because of the gunshot wound to his head. But those who have been around the 35-year-old for the past couple of months are hopeful he will continue to improve.
Wade hasn't left my thoughts. Every morning it's one of the first things I think of, and every night it's one of the last things I think of before I go to sleep. And I'm just so happy that he's in the position he's in today, because when this occurred, it did not look that promising.
After the news conference, Trooper Palmer and his wife were escorted to the airport. They were greeted by the Fraternal Order of Police here in Utah and helped into a private plane to make their return to Montana. A short trip home with a long recovery ahead.
I don't know where we would be without everything you have done for us. You made this scary time for my family and myself a little less scary.
Well, today, triumph for Palmer's family, the city of Missoula, and the state of Montana.
Swaths of supporters lining the streets from the airport to downtown. Lines especially packed around St. Patrick Hospital, the first place where Palmer was treated after he was attacked.
Many of those supporters, the same people who worked to save his life 68 days ago.
The community of Stevensville also showing support for its hometown hero.
Many of the people lining the streets there have personal connections with the family.
One of the nicest guys, the most genuine people you can ask for. Thanks to Wade and Montana Patrolman and everybody that has supported the community. We're very happy to have him back in the community and wish him the best throughout the next steps in his endeavor.
Oh, the crowd cheered as that procession passed. People were lined from Super One Foods just off Highway 93 there all the way through town.
Now, the community letting the Palmers know they are not alone.
Rio is wearing green to support Trooper Palmer's return. We're all trying to wear green to show him our love and support. We are so proud of you, and we appreciate the sacrifice that you made.
Thank you for everything that you've done for us, Trooper Palmer, and we're here for you and your family.
And the message from others was very similar. Welcome home.
Well, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals doing some digging to figure out who exactly owns fossils found in the state of Montana. Back in the summer of 2006, preserved fossils of dueling dinosaurs were found on the Murray Ranch in Garfield County. The Murrays sold a small T-Rex skeleton to a Dutch museum for several $1 million. The Murrays owned the land, but most of the mineral rights belonged to out-of-state companies, and neither party made a contingency for any fossils found on the property. Well, this led to back-and-forth legal battles over who owns the fossils and what fossils are even classified as under Montana law. In 2016, Montana District Court ruled that the landowners were the sole owners of the dinosaur fossils. However, the mineral title holders appealed to the Ninth Circuit, which overruled the district court's decision. The judges say it's because fossils are mineral because of their elemental compositions. Well, the case now appears headed to the Montana Supreme Court to decide. This year, Governor Steve Bullock signed a bill that declares that fossils are not minerals and that they belong to the landowners. However, because this law was signed after these court proceedings, it is unclear right now whether that law applies retroactively.
An unusual plea to the State Board of Investments in Helena today. A pair of California union workers came to talk about sexual harassment claims against a company that Montana invests in. It's not the first time representatives of Unite Here have appeared before the board, but it was the first time the board heard from a sexual harassment silence breaker. Vicky Juarez, a banquet worker for a CRBE owned hotel in Irvine, California, says she was suspended after she reported sexual harassment by a coworker. Now, the union suggests to Montana that it should not invest any additional pension money in CBRE's new funds until the company improves its sexual harassment policies and stops unfair anti-labor activities. Montana currently invests about $42 million of its pension funds with CRBE.
We believe that companies like CBRE will not meaningfully move to mitigate sexual harassment unless they are held accountable by their investors, their shareholders, and their employees. The way CBRE has handled the claims of sexual assault and harassment, the labor disputes, and its forced arbitration policies pose a risk to all of their employees, particularly hotel workers and immigrant women.
Now, the Montana board took no immediate action in response to the statements made today.
22 inches of new snow fell in Red Lodge in just the last 24 hours, and skiers are taking part even in May. Check out these photos coming to us from Red Lodge resident Rick McGarvey. He and others used the day as another snow day, hiking up the mountain and skiing back down. Red Lodge already had one of the most successful ski seasons this year, now on its way to even being more epic. I want to thank Rick for sending those pics in.
On the weather scene here in Billings, Bob, even though today was nicer than we expected, we are still seeing a winter storm warning tonight.
Yeah, especially up in the Beartooth Mountains where we're talking about Red Lodge Mountain. Let me show you some of the snowfall amounts we had. This is from our area. Now, you'll notice Red Lodge, that we already saw the 22, and here's another one from the Weather Service said another place in Red Lodge had 20 inches. Near Burgess Junction had 17 inches. 4 and 5 miles west of Red Lodge, they had 8 and 9 inches of snow there. Near Banner, Wyoming, and Sheridan County, they had 3.5 inches of snow. And now tonight, we're still looking at scattered snow showers flying right up across the Beartooth Mountains, also the Crazies, and also seeing some snow up there in the Priors and also the Bighorn Mountains. You can see most of the scattered snow showers continue to fall in that area. Now, also one thing we do see, though, we also have a winter storm warning which remains in effect until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Could see another 2 to 5 inches of snow there, plus the flood watch, which was in effect for most of southern Montana. That's now been canceled because all the rain has gone away and it's no longer an issue. We'll have your forecast in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Bob. Well, Billings is chock full of amazing high school students, some of whom will take the stage at the Metro this Sunday to graduate. Well, tonight we meet a senior high student that, despite abuse and disability, she is loved at senior high and in her new home and will graduate and attend college this fall. Q2's Mitch Laggy shares her story.
Me being in foster care, me being really sick and always being out of school, I didn't think I would make it. So it's a pretty big deal to me.
Meet Kiki, an 18-year-old senior high student, soon to be an alum. It wasn't an easy road for her to get to senior year, though. Kiki was born with a genetic condition that left her legs underdeveloped. She has been wheelchair-bound for her entire life. That's difficult enough, but life would throw Kiki more challenges. She faced physical abuse at home. Then after a brief stint at a relative's house, it was back to the foster system. Now in high school, Kiki met the foster parents she would eventually call Mom and Dad.
I was just so happy. I'm like, when can I move in? And they're like, anytime. And the next day I moved in with them. And it didn't take long until I asked them if I could start calling them Mom and Dad. They seemed like they were the real deal. And I was like, I might as well just start calling them that because I'm going to be here for a long time.
November her freshman year, Kiki transferred to senior as she found it a better fit. Struggling with sickness and missed school, Kiki credits her teachers for keeping her on track for graduation.
I worked my butt off to try to pass all my classes freshman year. They always wanted to know how I was feeling, because they knew what was going on at home. They were just always there for me, and I feel like if it wasn't for my teachers, I wouldn't be graduating.
With a story like this one, it's hard not to be moved. I asked her if she ever gets tired of being labeled an inspiration.
At times I do get tired of it, but because if I'm that inspiring to have people go out and do stuff that they were scared of or that they didn't know what to do about, then that just makes me really happy because I'm changing people's lives without really knowing it.
Good luck, Kiki. After Sunday, the world is yours for the taking. In Billings, Mitch Laggy, MTN News.
Thanks, Mitch. And Kiki tells us she will attend Rocky Mountain College in the fall to study equine therapy. Congratulations.
Yeah, for sure. Well, all 4 Billings high schools will host graduation ceremonies this Sunday.
Now, the first senior high students will graduate at 10 a.m. Then at 2 o'clock, West High graduates will cross the stage. And at 6 p.m., Skyview seniors will graduate. Now, all 3 of those ceremonies will be held at the Rimrock Auto Arena.
Students at Billings Central will also graduate Sunday evening. There are some ceremonies there on campus. That'll be from 6 until 8 p.m.
Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, a new scholarship proving a cash cow for some kids wanting some stake in the cattle industry.
And in sports, these youth football players get advice tonight from some NFL guys here in Billings. Scott chats with a couple of them.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.